Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jag and welcome to World of Tanks Blitz, and in today's video we're going to be opening 800,000 free experience worth of containers, as well as doing a lucky spin at the end of it as well. But more than anything, I'm going to be talking about the events, what makes a good event, what makes a bad event, and my thoughts about the game as it stands right now. So I'm sure you've seen videos about the event already. I mean, it's not exactly Christmas anymore, is it? It's sort of mid-January. So, the event, what did we think of it? Most people saw it as a bit of a cash grab, which I can totally appreciate, and I definitely see that. My main issue comes with the grind itself. I spent a lot of time doing the event, as I'm sure many others did, to get the free lucky spin ticket, and it wasn't worth it, as we shall see later on in this video when I go to do the free spin. In terms of the free XP I spent on the containers that I'm opening here, I don't mind that because I was really only after a lucky ticket, and Wargaming showed the drop rate of the lucky ticket, so I knew it would be unlikely. So I didn't mind that, as I was aware of the risk going into it. The fact I've shelled out 800,000 free XP on 20 crates hurt a little bit, because as you can see I haven't got a lucky spin just yet. Nor will I. Sorry, spoilers. I'm not particularly opposed to spending this free XP because I knew that everything else I can spend free XP on isn't going anywhere and will still be available once the event was over. So I don't mind shelling out this free XP, especially when there's a chance to get gold, the premium currency of this game that you'd otherwise have to pay actual money for. But back to my main concern about the grind itself to get a free lucky spin. When comparing it to other grinds that we saw in 2018, it was particularly tough, and the only one I can really compare it to was an event called Winner's Time, I think it was called that anyway, which was an event in the summer to earn an IS-6, and the first ever attachment for a tank called, I think it's called the Pioneer attachment. I did this IS-6 event back in the day, and it seriously burnt me out of the game. And that's the downside of events. If the grind is too tough, you run the risk of burning your player base out. This is fine in the short term because you have players who are heavily invested for a period of time, and they are perhaps more likely to splash out to complete a grind. But for the core player base, after the event is all said and done, they'll find themselves bored, and that's how I'm left feeling after this winter event, after playing so many games in such a short space of time. On the flip side of that, you can have events that draw players back to the game. For example, this year's Mad Games event where you could win the Grave Digger. It was still a very tough grind, perhaps even to the same level of the winter event. But what's different about the Grave Digger event is that it also provided players with a different game mode which introduced new mechanics and new abilities for vehicles. I think it's for that reason that the Mad Games event didn't burn me out of the base game itself, even though I played a hell of a lot of battles. That's an example of an event done well. But not all events need some sort of quirky aspects of the game to make it work. For example, we had the Girls in the Panzer event at one point where you could win yourself a Kura Morimine, a Panzer Anko SP, or a Hetzakame, or all three. That was just done playing the base game, just playing games. And that worked well because the grind wasn't insanely difficult, it was a reasonable grind. If I could go back in time, would I do the winter event again? No, I wouldn't bother with the grind, it's not worth the time. Something that I've come to realise for myself personally is that a level of enjoyment that I find from World Tanks Blitz comes from grinding lines, building these tanks up, upgrading them and pushing forward to the higher tiers. And with the winter event you just couldn't do that because you had to get the ×2 on every tank, so you found yourself tank skipping across a garage all over the place and not really focusing on one particular line. And that wasn't fun. I didn't feel like I was progressing through the game at all. I thought I was just playing for the sake of grinding this event. So I didn't really enjoy the way you accumulated the currency, which was of course these cards. I think a better way of doing it would be to measure it through base experience earned. What did redeem the event, however, was the Panzer IV-S. It is a very good tank and it was easy enough to do. That was a decent grind. That was the sort of grind I look for in a game. That was reasonable. I don't mind that at all, and it was the only redeeming quality of this winter event. Although it has to be said that had I already bought the Panzer IV-S with gold or money, you know, I would be annoyed to see it that easily obtainable. So yeah, there is that to consider. Oh, also this event came out with a big old bug in it whereby every 20-30 games or so, you'd experience this. Yes, this. Wargaming, just tell me quickly, did you test your game? Probably not. So I definitely think this is one of the weaker events that Wargaming have come out with, and probably one of the worst Christmas events, and hopefully it's something they learn from. But either way, that's enough moaning and complaining. I've been Jag, and if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. We are aiming for 3,000 subscribers by the end of January. Help me achieve it, and I will be your best friend forever. And that's it from me. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.